Okay, so we're going to make this chessboard here, something like it anyway. And there's a couple of reasons why. One is I do want to show you some cool new tricks using some of the basic tools here. But two, I also want to introduce the idea of making an assembly. And that's where you take pieces from multiple projects and you import them into a single sort of document, and then I can assemble them into a more complex structure. So you've already been making a few chess pieces. Having a board like this seems like a logical next step. And then we'll import those chess pieces and place them on the board, and we can make sort of a virtual chess set. But that being said, let's get started, and it's not going to take long. It's a fast project. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new document. I'll call it ChessBoard. B-O-A-R-D. I can't spell today. I don't know how many I've made. I'm going to say 5. All right. And let's create it. Okay, once again, I think I'm going to, it's a board, it's laying on the table, so I think I'm going to work on it top down. So I'm going to take and hide that, take a top down view, grab a sketch, put it on this deck. Boom. Okay, we are ready to start drawing our board. Now, I think what I want to do in this case is start with just a corner rectangle, and I'm going to throw it down there. And I think I want my chessboard to have pieces that are like, oh, I don't know, 20 by 20. Okay, 20 by 20 millimeters. And at this point, we can do a number of different things. I could just start copying lots of these squares, and then, you know, extrude them out. In fact, I'll show you real quick. There is a tool, if you haven't played with it yet. I can simply take this linear pattern tool. I can say that I need 8 of these, okay, and then I need them to be 20 millimeters apart. And right there you can see how quickly I can make my 8. I can make another 8 down, and I have my 64 squares in no time at all. Okay, but then what happens is as I extrude them, they'll come up as individual parts, which is fine, but then they'll be individually colored, and I'll have to go and select them, and it's kind of a hassle to colorize them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do it after the fact. I'm going to extrude them first. And I've lost one of my measurements. Let me put that back. Boom. Boom. And we need that to be 20 millimeters. Okay. So I'm actually going to call it done. I've got a square. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this square. And I think I'll make my tiles, I don't know, 3 millimeters thick. Okay. And I'm also going to go over here to properties or appearances. And I don't want to deal with these sort of blues. I think I'm going to go with these sort of shades of gray right here, this sort of brownish gray. So I'm going to make this my lightest one, like so. All right, I'll hide this appearance panel. So now let's go ahead and draw another tile. And I think I'm going to do it as a new sketch. Okay, select my drawing surface, grab my corner rectangle, go up here and make sure it snaps. I'm going to bring it out. 20, enter 20. Okay, so now I've got my nice square. I'm done with that. And I'm going to extrude this one. Now this is important. This is worth noting. All right. I'm actually going to make sure, notice how it jumps to add. All right. I actually want to make a new, I want it to be a totally separate piece so I can treat it as a separate color and everything. So I'm going to make it 3 millimeters, but it's a whole new piece. Okay, so I got a whole new part down here. And you can see now I have 2 of these tiles. So now what I want to do is I want to copy these solid objects instead of my drawing. So to do that, I simply select them. And then I'm going to use my linear pattern tool. And it's asking me which direction. Well, I want to choose this axis. And then I want to move them over. There were 20 each, so I have to move it over 40. And I want a total of 4 copies of it. And there you have it. Okay, so there's my first row and they're all uniform, and they're all the same color, and it all looks great. So now let's take these two. We'll do the same thing again, but in this case, I want it to move down on this axis, and I want to go down 20 millimeters. And the thing is that I need to switch these colors around. So you can see if I highlight this, it shows up as part 9. That one shows up as part 10. So let's go ahead and go to our Appearance panel. Let's choose part 9. Double click it. And we need it to be the dark color now. And then we're going to choose part 10. Double click it. And let's make it the light one. Okay. And we'll get that down. So now we can take, oops, I wanted to make that a different color. Let me do that. I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on a second. Let's go back here. I want this to be, I want it to be, what did I choose? I could have swore I was there. Is it this one? Hold on, I've lost track of my color. Let me pause this for one second. Sorry about that embarrassment, but I lost track of which color I was using. So now I've got the right color. So now I'm going to go ahead and select these and do the patterning again. Move this down, select my direction, and then I want to follow along that axis there. I want to move it 40 millimeters, and I need 4 of them. And then there we go. So let's get that out of the way. And now all I have to do is select all of this. Once again, we're going to use our pattern. We're going to select the axes right here. And then I want to go 40 again. And I want 4 of them. And there you have it. Okay? So now we have the basic sort of playing field. But we still want to put that cool border on the outside of it and, you know, kind of make it a more finished product. So I'm going to, again, go to my top view. I think I'll create another sketch plane on the top. And in this case, I'm going to use the center point rectangle. And I'm going to go right to the center. And I'm going to click out to the edge. And I'm going to do it again. And this should be 160 because there are 20 each, so that's 160 by 160. I think I'm going to bring it out, let's go like 175 by 175, like so. And we are done with that. Okay. Let's bring that down a little bit. So let's select this. And I do want to show you this. This is another new trick I'm going to show you. I'm going to extrude it, but I actually want to go not in just one direction. I certainly want to go up so that my tiles are level with the surface. But I also want to go down. Okay? So I want to go up and down. So I want to do a symmetric extrusion. So in this case, I'm extruding in both directions. Okay? And I'm going to say OK with that. And there you can see that I've extruded in both directions. Now I still have this sort of hollow underneath there. I want to hide this with a solid piece. So I'm going to make sure that my sketch re-shows, and I want to select it in such a way that if I get right in the middle, you can see how it's taking the greater rectangle. Okay, I'm going to select that, so that's the entire bottom. I'm going to extrude it, and then I'm going to go down 3 millimeters, and I want to add it, and I want to merge it with this layer right here. So it's going to make it a solid. Okay, and there you have that. And the last thing, just to kind of finish it off real nice, let's go with a nice trimeric view, is I am going to select this edge, that edge, that edge, that edge, and I'm going to use the fillet tool, and I'm going to bring it down, I guess we'll go down 6 millimeters. Like that. And last but not least, I'm not particularly fond of the blue. I'm going to go scroll down to it, find that blue piece, double click it, and I think I'm going to go with something rather contrasting, like a brown of some sort, maybe like that. And then say OK. And then we'll get this out of the way. And there you have it. We can hide that top plane. And now you can see you've got just a beautiful chessboard, all smooth, rounded, fully finished. Looks great. So I'm going to put that right there. Alright. Awesome. So you're going to need this board to be able to do the next thing, which is to be able to work with an assembly. So hopefully you can reproduce this, and I will see you again soon.